Hey everyone, it's Michael GoosebumpsFan. I hope you're doing well today. I have another final classic original 62 Goosebumps book review for you. Yes, after this, we start moving on into the other territories that I haven't touched much of, like Series 2000, the rest of GYG, or Give Yourself Goosebumps, all those other series that people have recommended they wanted a lot of other reviews from. This review in particular is one that I've kind of put off forever. Yes, it's the last of the original 62, but it happens to be the second of the original 62 released after the original book, Welcome to Dead House, which I love tremendously. This is another really great, hard-hitting book that people love to death, people have recommended for me to read forever. And I'll be honest with you, I've read it numerous times. I probably read this book maybe 4 or 5 times. It's one of the most read books I've ever had in the Goosebumps series. Up there with Goosebumps Wanted the Haunted Mask, up there with Curse of Camp Cold Lake that I've read a billion times. I got that book around the same time I got this one. This is actually one that I'm fairly certain was one of the first ones I ever got. There was like Legend of the Lost Legend, there was Curse of Camp Cold Lake, then there was like a school fair where I got this book and some other books, and I think that may have been right around the skating rink birthday party I talk about all the time here on the channel, where I got a lot of stuff like Night of the Living Dummy 1, 2, and 3, and a lot of other things like Monster Blood. This particular book, and Welcome to Dead House, I'm fairly certain I got as reprints. And this of course, is the actual cover for the reprint edition. They came out around 2003-ish, I want to say. I was less than 10 years old. I think it was 7 or 8, somewhere in that ballpark. Anyway, this is the original Goosebumps number 2, right? Stay Out of the Basement. Yes, this is the original Tim Jacobus cover. It's not the original. The original cover is actually this. I don't have an original book version of this, but I do have the 10 reprint that recently came out of the original cover here with the hand coming out of the basement, which is also a cool cover. I kind of prefer this one to this one, but this is Tim Jacobus, this is not. This is actually the other artist that they were talking about with Tim Jacobus, debating on which one was going to get the job for the covers. Tim Jacobus is very detailed. This is detailed, but in a different way. Anyway, I like both covers. I do want to say that up front. The reason I kept putting this book off so much is because I've read it so many times. Like I said, I've seen the episode quite a few times. I didn't grow up on the episode, but I did kind of grow up on this book. And reading it so many different times in my life, like at Myrtle Beach on different vacations, I took this and Not a Living Dummy, the original book. Numerous times I went to Myrtle Beach on vacation and read that there in South Carolina. If you haven't been to Myrtle Beach, cool place. Really cool place. Anyway, Stay Out of the Basement. What is there to say new about this book? We all kind of generally know. Even if you're a newer Goosebumps fan, you probably know something about this episode, or this book in this case. I'm so excited to get to the episode too, because I like that a lot too. It's a 2-parter, higher budget, really good, one of the really good ones. Stay Out of the Basement is a wild ride. It's a psychological ride, not in the same sense of the previous book I reviewed, the other basement book, I Live in Your Basement, which I think partially, these two are very different types of books, but I think I like that one more because of the body horror. This one has some of that too. This one does have body horror, which is a cool thing. Anyway, let's talk about the plot a little bit. Stay Out of the Basement is actually about a brother and sister, Casey and Margaret, who have a dad who recently lost his job, and he's a scientist, mostly involved with botany, which involves plants, and he is doing some odd experiments down in the basement. All of a sudden he starts wearing a hat a lot of the time. When he lost his job, there's a lot of rumors in the town about why he lost his job. Their mom and dad haven't really told them much about what happened there. And the dad, they've noticed, is kind of spending less and less time with the family. He has less and less to say. He just kind of says good morning and good night. He's mostly spending his time down in the basement instead of looking for like a new job or something. So this guy he's having some personal demons to fight, I think, a little bit. And it's kind of different. You know, mind you, this is the second book of Goosebumps that was ever released, following a book like Welcome to Dead House, which is a powerful, scary, even kind of gory read. This one has a little bit of gore to it as well. It's got some great psychology to it, amongst some great kind of, I don't want to say whodunit, because it's not really that, but there's kind of some different tension in this book that develops later on in the third act. It's a great read. Just let me say that out front. The reason I've read this book so many times and kind of put it off is because I've read it so many times and I already know the ending. I know the twists. There's a lot of twists to this one. If you haven't read this book before, And even if you've read a lot of Goosebumps, but you haven't read this one before, there are not many Goosebumps books out there, maybe a handful, that are anything like this book. Yes, you're kind of dealing with a guy dealing with plants, right? As you can tell from the covers, there's something happening with the basement. You know, some kind of plant, creature, monster, or something. We don't really know, but that's the fun of this book. And I don't want to tell you too much. A lot of you probably already know. You've probably already seen the TV episode, like I said, but I'll tell you up front, man, you're missing out if you haven't read this book. It's a great one. Really great one. Don't jump into watching the episode. Read the book first. The book has some things in it that the TV show does not. It's got some scares in here that are really fun. I love it. I love the mystery to it. I love the worry and the family aspect. I like how the kids care so much about their parents, and I like how involved specifically the dad is with the story. A lot of Goosebumps books, as you guys know, typically don't have the adults, involved as much. It's usually just kind of the kids, friends, that kind of thing going on their own adventure. Most of this is a brother and sister who actually mostly get along and are worried about their dad. After their mom also happens to have a sister or something that gets sick, the mom has to leave, and the kids are kind of stuck home with the dad in this weird situation, but they're basically told, by the way, as the title kind of informs you, to stay out of the basement. They're not allowed down there. Their parents are not happy with that, particularly their dad. Even the mom's not really allowed to go down there too much. He doesn't really tell her much about anything going on down there either. It's wild. It's wild, and honestly, there's some stuff in here that's actually kind of horrific. You know, for a book following up Welcome to Dead House, there's a lot to live up to, in my opinion. I had never read much of Welcome to Dead House until I did my review here for the channel. I may have not even read it before. I think I read it maybe once a long time ago when I was a kid. But reading that one, and then now reading this one again for like the 6th time in my life, this one held up a lot to really, you know, kind of reinforce what the first one had done. Anyway, to follow those two books up, Welcome to Dead House, Stay Out of the Basement, with monster blood of all things, why? Monster Blood is so not good compared to those two. Monster Blood's one of my least rated books in the entire original series, or even just Goosebumps as a whole. That first book, I really don't like it all that much. I think it's too goofy, too silly, compared to a lot of the silly Goosebumps books out there. That one's just bad. Just straight out bad. It's weird to me, going back and reading this after so many years. It's been like 5 years since I've read this book. Going to read this again, and seeing how different it is from what I remember, from different things I remember about the TV show, which was the most frequent thing I've seen recently in the last 4 years. I think I've seen it in more recent times than I did actually read the book. Anyway, I really like the book a lot. It's got a lot to offer. It's scary. It's crazy. The third act is insane. It's absolutely insane. It's stuff that shouldn't be in a kid's book probably, but it's great and I love it. If you love Welcome to Dead House and you want the tension built from that, in kind of a weird mystery, kind of a house-focused thing, but mostly a family story. If you like that kind of thing, this book is for you. This book is absolutely for you. Stay Out of the Basement is a crazy, wild, insane read, and you won't forget it. That's one of the reasons I kept putting it off, because I looked at I Live in Your Basement, I looked at this book, and I was like, you know, that could be a real hit or miss. I want to end the original series reviews on a good book, and I knew this was a good one. So I was like, you know what, I might as well just wait, do it now. And here you go. Here's my review. Everything from the covers to the purple color scheme on the covers, all that stuff. Everything is so great about this book. It's fantastic. And this may be one of the very few times in a long time that I have given a book, or two books in this case, back to back in a row on a 5-star basis of 5 out of 5 stars. Stay Out of the Basement is fantastic. If you haven't read it, like I said, you're missing out. You owe it to yourself to read this book, or these books, whatever. Both covers are great. I really love it. Anyway, tune in for more this weekend. I have a lot of things upcoming, including particularly the episode review, which is a 2-parter, a 45-minute long episode of this book adaptation of the old 90s show. I have that. I have to do a big old ranking video for all original 62 books, and then I have to rank all the covers of those 62 books. So it's going to be a wild, long weekend filled up with some recording for you guys. You're going to have a lot of, knowing how much I ramble, probably a lot of content And when I say content, I mean rambling for like a couple of hours. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the review. I hope you guys check out the book. It's fantastic. If you haven't read it before, you're really gonna love it. I promise you, you probably will. Most people that I point to this as one of their earlier Goosebumps books typically love it. And I kind of even thought as I read this, I tell you guys this all the time, and I tell my friends in the Discord community for Goosebumps, you know, I've tried to think about what the perfect book would be for my wife to read as her first ever Goosebumps book. And I'm kind of leaning towards this the more that I read it. If I can get her to pick it up, I think she'll really love it, especially the way the story unfolds, the way it gets so crazy and insane. This might be a good one to recommend to friends and relatives if you guys want them to get into it, because this is a really good one. Anyway, like I said, 5 out of 5 stars. Let me know down below what you guys think about the book. Do you love it? Do you hate it? What do you think about the episode? Is it better than the episode? I don't remember entirely, but I kind of think I like it more. It's phenomenal. Both are phenomenal, but still. Anyway, great one. Thank you guys for watching. God bless you. Tune in for all those other videos I have upcoming like I talked about, and see you soon. God bless you. Goodbye.